No, just before.
Okay.
Right.
Right. Okay. I don't mind who does the intro. I'm feeling a bit fruity, so
Go for
I
it,
have to do my.
Apex. Go for it, go for it, Apex. Go for it. I'll let you
Okay, fine.
lead the way.
I shall weave the words in whatever. Okay. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this is a Legacy Classic. I always forget what to call it, but it's a Legacy Classic. This is an LCR open race. This is we have a break week in our season 4, so we're taking the time out of our busy schedule to do a classic race at China in the Ferrari 2007. It's a back-to-back session, starting off with one-shot qualifying. I'm LCR Apex, and I'm joined once again in the commentary box for this classic race alongside
TOR Smith88, good evening, good afternoon. Lovely weather outside, but it's going to be even better conditions on the track as we are in for some fabulous racing here in these classics. And as Apex pointed out, we're starting off around China in the Ferrari F2007 in, am I correct, wet to dry conditions, or is it dry to wet? I'm not sure.
It's wet to dry.
So going to be interesting.
Yep. The first race is designed to mimic the race from 2007. Obviously a very infamous race in regards to the championship contender Lewis Hamilton slightly bottling it on the entrance to the pit lane. And the Ferrari
We've all done it.
I believe the Ferrari went on to win the race, and obviously Kimi Räikkönen went on to win the championship that season. And we have F2007s, and I figured it would be a great track to do it on. So we're mimicking the race. It's wet qualifying, wet start off the race, and it dries out during it. So changing conditions. This is the first time we're doing changing conditions in Legacy Classic as well, so it should be interesting.
Yeah, it should be really exciting. Just to let you know, we do have another. This is open to anybody, so it's not just LCR people. Anyone is allowed to race. We do have another race coming up later on, which we'll talk about in a bit. So anyone who's watching, you are more than welcome to join that second race, as the one-shot qualifying has started in the crazy fashion that it has with the moving people up and down the thing. So I'm going to stay. I'm staying on board with Leopard. So
Yeah, I was staying on board with Leopard. Let's just watch his lap. Obviously, Leopard should be mentioned that he is currently the reigning LCR World Champion. And he is also currently leading the championship standings in LCR Season 4. He has not had any practice in these cars, as you can tell, because he kind of got bent out of shape heading into the hairpin. He's already down to 8th.
He broke far too early there. He didn't quite get his turn in right. He broke too early and then tried to turn in obviously too early, and that he had to recorrect. But he's back up to 6th now. But Brock does. Oh, it was Brock. It's currently John. So John from is currently leading.
John, I'm gonna attempt it. John Salonica.
He's from Greece.
Pronounce it like that.
He is.
He's from Greece.
AOR.
I have a Greece.
He was an AOR F3 last year with Leopard, so it's going to be quick. And then we've got the Indonesian driver of Exploding Emerald in 2nd, and then Dennis VK 3rd, Brock in 4th, AOR Charlie Elias. It's all kind of evened itself out now on the straight. Yeah, I didn't see Ben retire, but Leopard is still in 6th. Can anyone? Leopard's gone up to 5th. Can he get any higher than this as he comes through the final corner?
The final corner. Majority of the drivers will be heading up to the start-finish line. We'll see our first lap times come in now. 1:48.1 from John. Very close, actually. Those times flew through. Dark Magic Gundam started behind Leopard. That's an interesting qualifying. Brad has yet to cross the line. 1:58.2. And then TOR Verstappen. There he is. Just over 2 minutes. But yeah, no. So, interesting qualifying. I think that's the only word you can really use to describe it, because I think for a lot of these drivers, this is the first time they're in these cars. I'm not sure how many setups are being used, but John setting a 1:48.1, 0.2 quicker than Exploding Emerald, who's been kind of on a tear lately in league racing. He's picking up a few wins and podiums. Can he do well here today? Brock does stuff in 3rd. This is probably one of the first time in ages in LCR there's no British person on the top 3, so there's a fun fact for you. Dennis VKK in 4th, AOR Charlie in 5th, 6th is TOR Leopard, Dark Magic Gundam, Windy is Bacon, Drizzt's Revenge, TOR Verstappen, F1 Ben, And I've just realised, looking at it, AOR Charlie and F1 Ben are the only 2 British drivers. Otherwise, it's a very Dutch and splash of American lobby here.
We've got
which
a
is quite
very
interesting. Bit of an international
continental feel, shall we say, to today's race. What I will say is Expert Armand is also racing. I saw him join, but he joined a bit late, so that's why he wasn't in qualifying. So we do have 12 drivers for this first wet to dry in China. It's going to be interesting. Yeah. I'm looking out for who can get through the first corner the cleanest, because it's infamous. Yeah. This corner is infamous for causing carnage, as I like to say.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's going to be interesting to see who gets through there unscathed and who doesn't. So
China's not necessarily a track that people may stand out as a classic. I think it's an underrated track. I know a lot of people don't like it, but it is good for racing. Like if you really wanted to, you go side by side, probably up till the massive straight down the back. So obviously there's no DRS help in the classic cars, so any overtakes we see on track will be completely natural from the skill of the drivers. Fighting a car that they probably wouldn't even get to drive all that often, in conditions they wouldn't get to drive all that often.
And the formation.
And we have a formation lap.
Oh, look at all those red, look at the beautiful red machines. Oh, people are weaving. Oh.
Is that a Red Bull?
And that is Expert Emerald has been disqualified.
Expert Almond is in a RB6, so this will be fun to watch, see if he can make an impression on the field. Obviously joining late kind of messes up what car you're in. And just as a forewarning, just as a fair warning I should say, we might get confused on who is who, because we can't exactly use our words to say, oh, the Ferrari's going down the inside of the Ferrari, because that refers to literally everybody on the grid.
So if we repeat ourselves, just bear with us. We do apologise, but there's lots of red Ferraris, so if we shout Ferrari a lot,
also,
you know why.
Real quick, I want to give special mention to AOR Charlie, Brogdor Stuff, TOR Leopard, and TOR Verstappen, who are actually sat in a party with us. You wouldn't be able to hear them because they are muted, but they're currently sat listening to every word we're saying, probably heckling us. Yeah. But we can get revenge on them by absolutely yelling when they're in a battle, so it's a trade-off, it's fine. But I want to quickly shout out, so if they bottle it, and it's our fault, it's not our fault, is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, Charlie's in disqualified, shocking behaviour. What I will say is, we are missing one King Hayden. This is disappointing that he is not here for these races. King Hayden. I thought he would be involved, but no.
Hayden is off playing ping pong.
Oh, yes.
I want him to understand that I called it ping pong and not what he would rather me call it. So Hayden is currently playing ping pong. So right now our host is also TOR Leopard, who is also someone who is, again, he's in the party, so he's hoping the incidents will fall through. This is the only time I get to say this, because like I know whenever I like make fun of Leopard, he's very good at dishing it back. So I'm taking every opportunity I can get.
But let's be honest, his internet has been interesting of late. So if you see migrating host, we wouldn't be shocked. But yeah,
well, I mean, you say his internet has been interesting as of late. We do have an Indonesian and an Australian in third. Not to imply anything I don't really want to imply, but when you have a global connection, it can be difficult as the final car gets lined up on the start-finish line.
Alright, so just put all the telemetry up so we are ready to go. I'm going to allow Apex to call the start of this first race, and then I'll call the start of the second one, which will follow swiftly after this. We currently have 3 viewers. Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm going to put the position change up instead of tyre, because tyre's a bit useless.
I've done the same.
5 lights. Lights out and away we go. That was a very slow launch from everybody. The tyres obviously struggling to find grip. Leopard's already got on a good start above Charlie. There's a ton of position changes off the start line. I'm going to look at the back with Whittiers Bacon. A lot of people are getting clean out of the first corner. AOR Charlie's fallen quite a few positions. TOR Verstappen's climbed quite a few positions. There's a bunch of cars all over the place. Starting off with, there's a bit of contact going through turn 2 and turn 3. The cars are kind of following those to tail. I believe we should still be on reduced damage. So there's that much long-term damage. F1 Ben is looking up the inside of Drizzt's Revenge. He gets completely bent out of shape. He goes all the way across the hairpin. Does he collect any car with him? He collects quite a number of cars. I do believe, I'm not exactly sure who he grabbed, but he did grab. Well, at the very least, he grabbed himself. He absolutely balled it going through the hairpin. That was just him completely losing his car, braking in a straight line. Dennis VKK and TOR Verstappen. TOR Verstappen gets the move done in the middle of the S's. Very good racing off the first lap, but a bit of a moment there from F1 Ben, nearly scuppering nearly the entire field.
Someone's lost it. Someone's lost it behind.
Dark Magic Gundam. TOR Leopard has lost it.
TOR Leopard.
AOR Charlie is currently pressuring Dark Magic Gundam, who maintains a position. They are currently driving between the pair of them. Dark Magic Gundam, I believe, is the only driver from the Pro Division currently in this race, and he is actually keeping a good line with AOR Charlie trying to jump up on the inside, and Winnie is Bacon and Brock does stuff going side by side, and TOR Verstappen and Dennis BKK also battling. There's a lot going on up and down the field.
Oh wow, are we gonna go 3 wide here? No. It looks like that's AOR Charlie making the move on Dark Magic Gundam there. On the hairpin. It looks like who's that behind? That's Drizzt as well, trying to get involved.
Very wide. Dark Magic Gundam trying to look back on AOR Charlie in the final corner. That's not exactly an overtaking spot. TOR Verstappen is all over the back of Dennis. Alman's lost it. I think he's got front wing damage. It's all gone. He's lost it on the final corner. TOR Leopard is trying to move on Windius Bacon, who I thought he might have front wing damage. TOR Leopard immediately cuts him off the first chance he gets. Windius Bacon back on the inside. Leopard cuts him off beautifully, and he gets the move done. Leopard's back up to 9th. But we've got pretty much a train forming from Dennis VKK, TOR Verstappen, AOR Charlie a little bit behind, Dark Magic Gundam, who's getting a little bit of pressure from Brad, Drizzt's Revenge, who the 2 American drivers, as they head into the hairpin, clean between the pair of them.
Yeah, it went for
Dark
the
Magic
move
Gundam does what I think the right choice was, and sticking to the normal racing line as opposed to going defensive, because sometimes that can set you up poorly for a switch on the wrong end of a switchback. TOR Verstappen still on the back of Dennis VKK. There's no room to speak here. TOR Verstappen's heading in a little bit late on the corner. I'm not saying it's a bad move, but catching.
Look at this, they're
Dennis
pushing
VKK
each other around. They are pushing each other around. AOR Charlie is right behind this battle now. This is allowing John and Emerald to get away here, but these guys are having a battle. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Dark Magic, Drizzt, Brock, and Leopard.
TOR Verstappen up the inside of Dennis VKK. Gets the move done in the long right-hander of turn 13. AOR Charlie follow him through. They're still side by side, but Dennis VKK I think had the better run of that corner. AOR Charlie kind of lost traction halfway through. Charlie ducks behind Dennis VKK. He's trying to use the slipstream to his advantage. Can he get it done? He's got a better straight line speed. They're going to go side by side into the hairpin. Who breaks later? Charlie breaks. The pair of them break later than Verstappen worth noting, but Charlie breaks later. The 2 make contact going through the middle of the hairpin. But Charlie does get the move done on VKK.
That was a brilliant move, brilliant battle down the back straight. Now is this going to leave? Let's go further back down. As Brock
does stuff gets past Drizzt's Revenge. Drizzt's Revenge, mumbling. Drizzt's Revenge was following Dark Magic Gundam into the final corner, but Krim, I believe, broke a little bit sooner than Brad was expecting, and Brad's completely lost out due to it because he's lost out to Brock and TOR Leopard. He doesn't have front wing damage, he just had completely compromised straight line speed going down the straight, and now while he was looking at Cheeky Keen for P6, he's currently lost in a train with Dark Magic Gundam heading Brock, heading Leopard, heading Drizzt's Revenge.
Really tight, and these guys are catching up. These guys are catching up to. There's really, you could say there's a train here from TOR Verstappen, pretty much down to Drizzt in P8, really. So P3 down to P9, sorry, are literally all in one train with Verstappen leading it, Charlie just behind, then Dennis VKK, then a small gap to Dark Magic Gundam, as John, as the leader, has got a 5-second stop go for it, exceeding track limits.
That won't help. We do have a pit stop. It is drying. The track will dry. We know what the weather's going to be, so that's going to affect John. So Emerald has to keep it behind him. It looked like he bottled it, but he is lagging, so I'm going to try and avoid commentating on him.
I just on board with Verstappen then, and Charlie had a little moment coming onto this back straight, coming onto the straight, and then we've got Dennis V followed by Dennis.
Leopard had to run on Brock. If we come into down into the hairpin, I know they can hear us. Have a good one, lads. Who's going to break
Leopard's
later?
going for the move.
Looking on the inside. Is he going to break later? Brock has to try and move on Brad as well. On Krim. Oh, that kind of cut off Leopard there. That wasn't expected. Brad kind of dropped back as well. I didn't see where that came from.
Just to note just on that move, Leopard actually lost connection while braking there. He went red X on my screen. So that was an interesting one. But Brock
There's a
is
bit of a
still
connection
ahead.
jump there, but I believe what happened was Leopard was trying to move on Brock, but then Dark Magic Gundam broke it slightly earlier than Brock expected. Brock had to try and move on the inside of Dark Magic Gundam.
Oh,
and
Leopard
trying on Brock.
Oh, they've
once again
touched!
slowing down.
They
Brock
have
makes contact
tagged!
with Leopard.
They have tagged! They have tagged! Oh my lord!
Dark Magic
Brock
Gundam
is
creating the
not
ultimate
letting him
bottleneck.
back
It's tripping
through.
up everybody.
Brock is not letting him
Brock
back
does
through
stuff-
Leopard.
Brock just stuff disappears into the distance.
That's disgraceful
Wow.
driving from Brock, I'm sorry. He should let Leopard back through, but no. But as you can see, just...
Slap him on the wrist.
Yeah.
TOR Verstappen's gone off. AOR Charlie's up to third. TOR Verstappen kind of lost it in the middle of the S's there.
Dennis
TOR
VKK
Verstappen also
gates.
loses it to Dennis VKK. Back up ahead against TOR Verstappen. Oh my days.
Wow.
The wet conditions are playing with everybody. They've got to stick it out until the dry.
What I will say is, I don't know about you, but look at the lead the top two have over everyone else.
Yeah, definitely.
They have managed, if we look at the lead, 10 seconds, pretty much, the top two have over the rest of the guys, but that's with all the battling. So there's a little bit of a gap for him here, but Brock is all over the back of Dark Magic Gundam here. He's got the speed, he's going to go to the inside. He's going side by side. He's going to break.
Dark Magic Gundam breaks a lot later, actually. Fair play. But the line is kind of compromised till Brock's stuff does get the move done. But Dark Magic Gundam should definitely try back on it. Dennis VKK and TOR Verstappen have been side by side, but from the hairpin, by the way. Dennis VKK gets a better run than TOR Verstappen. That Leopard also gets past Prim. That was quick. That was really quick catching up. Then TOR Verstappen, is he going to try around the outside of Dennis VKK? Can he switch it in for a switchback? Actually, he's got a really good run going around the outside, but obviously the apex of turn 2 is probably going to save Dennis VKK for the time being. TOR Verstappen takes a wide line on the entry. He's trying for a switchback, but Dennis VKK is finding the traction on the inside of the corner and keeps P4 for the time being. But now the question becomes, can TOR Leopard catch up to Brock Dustoff as he actually rides the curve through turn 4? Dark Magic Gundam is if that's a Dark Magic Gundam to try and move on TOR Leopard. Does he go for a switchback? Yes, he does. Dark Magic Gundam on the inside of TOR Leopard. He gets the move done.
What a move! What a
Picking his
move
spot.
by the American driver. Brilliant switchback there. What we'll notice, Dark Magic actually made an error going through the final corner. Leopard, oh, so close. Leopard's lost it. Leopard, that is not the line. You should be using, yes, 10-second penalty. Naughty
That's a
boy.
slight penalty there.
Naughty boy. But
TOR
yes.
Verstappen on still on the back of Dennis VKK. Sorry.
Yeah, what I was saying,
right now,
is Dark Magic actually. Oh dear, this is not good. Right, we're back. I'm just
right. We missed
back
a few things.
spectating. Just back spectating, and apologies. Technical difficulties. I was on board with Leopard. I'm blaming the host. Yeah, you heard. I'm blaming the host. That's why I lost it. So, but we're back.
Right. So from the break, we have all but 2 drivers on the dry tires. Ben and Alman made the decision to go on the dry tires first, and they have been struggling. But Exploding Emerald and TOR Verstappen both on the wet tires. Still, they are trying to go for an overcut. What's important to note is that John did have a 5-second stop-go penalty, and he's all over the back of TOR Verstappen. If Emerald did pit the very same lap, he would have probably actually inherited the full lead. But right now, John is overtaking TOR Verstappen on the wet tires. Right now, I think it stands John, Emerald, and then Charlie. Yellow flags all over the place. I think that is Ben. Probably doing donuts. That's not helpful.
Yeah, we have to.
There's a
Interesting
lot
to
of
see.
stuff going on right now. We can't have to wait
I'm
for
just
the
going to
race
stay on
sort
board with
itself out.
Emerald here to see if he can actually come out ahead of John. Is he going to dive into the pits? Yeah, right. That's Emerald dived into the pits. Oh, takes that excellent. Right, John is coming down the back straight. So John is your leader. He has a 20. Emerald had a 21-second lead there. So
He's just entering into pit line now. He's turning into the pits. Right tires come on. Here comes John around the final corner. He is going to get the track position on Emerald, but it remains to be seen where exactly. Emerald's just coming up.
It's going to be
right
close.
Now. John,
it's going to be tight.
equal across the line. John does get the position. Remains to be seen how far behind it is. About 4 seconds?
5.5 seconds.
5 seconds.
So
He did gain time overall, Emerald, probably from the stop-go. I think the stop-go kind of neutralised the overcut there, to be honest. If Emerald pitted the same lap, he would have inherited the lead, but still the gap is smaller.
Drizzt's
Drizzt's
revenge
noted
fastest lap. Nice.
he He pitted for the drives pitted for the drives before everybody else, as did Alman. Drizzle's Revenge, just after saying the fastest lap, completely balls it on the outside of turn 2.
Oh no.
He buried himself in the gravel, he lost the position to Dark Magic Gundam. I'm ashamed to, I'm actually quite upset to say that the dry conditions have spaced out everybody, apart from Brock Dustuff, who's just claimed a 3-second time penalty. No idea what the penalty situation is, by the way. The game's being extremely harsh. I think some drivers have like 10 seconds or something like that. Charlie's also gotten past Emerald. Charlie's up to 2nd place. Don't know what happened there. I think Emerald might have lost it.
Must have lost it.
Charlie nailing the undercut, I believe. Charlie, well, mentioned before that John actually had a penalty. 5-second stop go penalty, but Charlie did not. TOR Verstappen's lost it. The changing conditions, I'm not sure if people may have had setups on, but the changing conditions seem to be messing with certain drivers. Exploding Emerald is, I don't want to say all over the back of AOR Charlie, but it's definitely chasing him down the main straight. Charlie's gone really defensive. He decided to go back to the racing line. Emerald's trying to follow him. He's trying to keep the slipstream going. He brakes a lot later, but does do a double front lockup. Not that the tyre wear is really much of an issue, but it does mean that Emerald is trying to catch Charlie as John is setting the fastest lap. He's absolutely running away with it. And I think the next closest battle is the Red Bull of Almond chasing the Ferrari of Dark Magic Gundam. We all know what happened in a certain real FF1 race when a Red Bull was trying to overtake on a Ferrari in that hairpin.
Didn't
really want to see the same thing here, let's be honest.
Oh, no. Almond. Oh, that was close. That was close coming out the final corner. As Almond sets the fastest lap at 36.9. Dark Magic has the inside line.
Dark Magic Gundam trying out the inside.
But
Almond kind of cut him off there, gotta be honest.
Yeah.
But it's fair, no contact happened there. TOR Leopard and Brock Dustuff. There you go, lads. Those two are fighting. Well, I'd say fighting. Brock Dustuff is doing a good job maintaining the gap to Leopard. Gap right now is within 4/10, but Leopard is looking mighty feisty in the car. It seems like the dry conditions are suiting him better.
Sorry,
a lot more cleaner racing line, I have to say.
Sorry to put in, but Emerald is all over the back of Charlie here. Charlie's run wide there as he's coming round the...
Can he go for a switch back?
Oh, come on. Yes,
Goes
Emerald has got the
line.
move done.
Along the curb, but Charlie's going to have a better exit from the outside line. That means he's going to get right back into the slipstream. That was very clever from Charlie. Almost played it dummy. He managed to absolutely launch it down the inside. Are they side by side?
Yeah, they're side by side. I'm on board. Charlie's got the inside.
Charlie's breaking a lot later. Oh my god,
oh, they've touched.
Later it broke.
They
did make contact. Charlie broke so much later. Leopard and Brock Dustuff also side by side. Brock Dustuff, sorry, going to go for a switchback. Leopard made a move up the inside line. Brock had a much better exit, but Leopard's doing a great job covering him off as they go into the final corner.
Brock
Dustuff slightly misses the apex, which compromises his speed.
Yeah, really slowed it down there with that executive line. Up to 4.
Leopard up to P4.
Brilliant racing.
Cracking battles going on right now.
Yes, can Brock keep up with Leopard? I'm sure he can. Oh, Brock. We'll have to see how this develops.
She was on the other foot now. TOR Leopard was spending quite a few laps behind Brock, but now can he maintain it with the fresh air ahead of him? Maintain the gap ahead now with the fresh air ahead of him. Just looking at the fuel, it should be noticed that the first few drivers are really low laps of fuel, but both Brock, I'm going to give away their strategies here to each other, don't care. Both Brock and Leopard have exactly the same amount of fuel. So, how about it, lads?
Oh, sorry, I was on board with Emerald there, he nearly lost it. I'm trying to go slightly defensive, I don't know why, because he's got quite a bit of space here. I think Leopard will want the fastest lap now. Now he's got a bit of fresh air. He's pulled out a second gap already over Brock. And he's going to find it tough to catch up with to Emerald and Charlie, who are 7 seconds up the road. So if I was him, I'd go for fastest lap. But just to note, John has a 12-second lead here. What it is! Oh, as I speak, he nearly lost it there. Oh no, actually, sorry, that was lag. Thought he nearly lost it, and then he just routed. Yeah, so then AOR Charlie.
I want to mention, we're talking about our continental grid. The top 6 drivers represent different nationalities. We go Greek, British, Indonesian, German, Australian, Dutch, and then Almond is British again. But if Dark Magic Gundam, I'm not sure how, because the gap has grown to 8 seconds, but if Dark Magic Gundam did get ahead of Albon, that means that the top 7 drivers would be separate, representing 7 different nationalities, which is very interesting. I'm kind of a sucker for nationalities, so...
Yeah, no, it's
quite
good. So we've got a nice
cool.
mix of people on the grid this afternoon, and you can also tell that in their connections. That's all I will say. As I'm still on board with Emerald, who is chasing down Charlie. He's second behind now. Charlie's starting to pull it out. The young British driver showing the Indonesian driver what? Oh, I thought that was a.
Windiest Bacon getting past Verstappen, who runs wide. Dennis VKK also running. Okay, right. TOR Verstappen and Dennis VKK just bottled it at the same time again.
Emerald.
These two have like a bond with each other. I swear to God.
Emerald has also just bottled it.
From Charlie.
Just to know, just going to go on board with Drizzt's Revenge, who is catching Dark Magic Gundam here for P8. As we have 3 laps.
Right now.
As John sets another fastest lap with a 36 flat, and he's got a 13-second lead. This is brilliant from the Greek driver. He got pole and he's led from start to finish. Dominant drive so far. Let's hope not for the commentator's curse.
I will have to say a special shout out to Exploding Emerald though. Had he not pitted if he pitted the same lap John did, or especially if he pitted a lap earlier, he'd be leading this race right now due to John's stop-go penalty. But unfortunately, he pit just 1 lap too late, and unfortunately it kind of cost him quite dearly. I'm not saying it's put him in 3rd place right now, because he has been battling Charlie, and Charlie being a really good opportunity to pick at the exact right time without the penalty has really capitalised on it. But Emerald has shown really good pace here. I don't think he's one to sleep on, to be honest. He's done really well.
Yeah, brilliant.
As Drizzt's Revenge caught right back up to Dark Magic Gundam.
Yeah,
sorry, I just noticed that myself.
Yeah, I'm still on board with Drizzt's here. This is a nice battle between the 2 American drivers. Brad looks, fades, goes for the move, but no, stays behind him. Dark Magic is certainly holding his own here. He's had some really good battles up and down the field all race, with these he's the only pro driver who's here. Oh, Brad!
Oh.
Brad
got a little bit caught out there.
Yeah.
TOR Verstappen and Windiest Bacon have had it coming together. I'm not entirely sure what that's about, but I'd rather watch this battle, to be honest. Drizzt's Revenge. 3-second time penalty for John. I'm not sure how much that will affect him, but at the very least, that's 3 seconds off of his 13-second gap. Dark Magic Gundam got a little bit of oversteer through the left and right of turns 11 and 12. Here comes Drizzt's Revenge. Again, no DRS down this straight, so it's all about the positioning and how much you can capitalise off the slipstream. Is Brad going to go at the inside? Yes, he is. The 2 Ferraris, of course, going side by side, going down towards the hairpin. Who's going to make a move? Who's going to budge? Who's going to blink first? They break pretty much at the same time, but Brad's got the better corner. The 2 remain side by side. Fair play to the pair of them. Dark Magic Gundam now has the inside line going into the final corner. What's going to happen? Who's going to turn? Dark Magic Gundam kind of put himself too much on the back foot. Drizzt's Revenge took advantage and made the move around the outside. He left enough room though for Dark Magic Gundam's line not to be all that compromised, as he does get a good run going to turn 1. He breaks slightly earlier, breaks slightly wider, which kind of cemented Dark Magic Gundam's, Drizzt's Revenge position. But Drizzt's Revenge goes really wide. He fails to break all that well for turn 2. The pair of them are still side by side going through turn 3 and now turn 4 as they head through towards turn 5 and the hairpin. The pair of them have been side by side since the end of the DRS straight. Who's gonna break later? Dark Magic Gundam actually broke later. Can Drizzt's Revenge get switched back going? No, he can't. Dark Magic Gundam seems to have a better exit, but I'm wrong, because Drizzt's Revenge is back up around the outside through the S's. Drizzt's Revenge has a later breaking point. The pair of them once again side by side. Drizzt's Revenge back around to the inside. Dark Magic Gundam's losing it ever so slightly on the outside, but he breaks a lot later going through. The left-hander, he gets a little bit of oversteer. He gets a bite of oversteer, sorry. That kind of compromises Drizzt's Revenge, doesn't give him any front wing damage, but does cancel out with speed. That was some excellent racing between the 2 drivers.
Wow.
And it's still not over, actually, because Dark Magic Gundam's just gone wide and gone a little bit of oversteer through the left-hander. The pair of them, once again, we've been here before 1 lap ago.
This is the last lap,
of the race. I don't think we mentioned...
Side by side again. Now these guys have been side by side the whole lap. This is absolutely brilliant driving from the American drivers. Drizzt's has got the inside.
To go on board with.
Can Dark Magic
Gundam, is he going to break later? Yes, he does.
He Can he
goes
get?
side
Oh,
by
he's
side around
run
the final
wide.
corner.
Oh, that's a
Magic Gundam
pity.
gets a little bit too friendly with the curbs. That might spell the end of it unless Brad has a major mare through the final corner. That is it. We're not actually on the final lap, sorry. John's on the final lap. The pair of those have just begun their final lap. John is with a massive gap. The stakes have changed. But Exploding Emerald, what is on the final lap is Exploding Emerald versus Charlie. Exploding Emerald has pulled right back up to Charlie. I'm not sure what happened because Emerald did make a mistake. I'm not sure if Charlie made one too. Probably with us yelling in his ear. I'm not sorry. But here comes Exploding Emerald. There's two battles going on. I don't know where to look.
I'm staying on board. I'm staying on board with the Charlie and Emerald battle as they come down the back straight here. AR Charlie. Oh, AR Charlie's lost it. Has Emerald tagged him? I don't know. Charlie's going very defensive here.
He's not going to be able to go back on the main straight. Emerald, if he breaks later, he might be on for a switchback here. He tries exactly that. Charlie goes a little bit wide. Emerald tries for the switchback. He goes back on the inside. He goes through the inside, but it's going to be difficult to try to make the move stick because Charlie did get a better exit. Round the outside of the final corner, Charlie leaves him hanging out to dry. That was actually really clever from Charlie, I'm not going to lie. Charlie comes up in second, Exploding Emerald in third. Leopard's going to take fourth place. What's happening with Dark Magic Gundam in Drizzt's Revenge? Dark Magic Gundam's dropped back a little bit. TOR Leopard in fourth. Brock Dustov actually jumped ahead due to Leopard's 10-second time penalty. Dennis VKK is just coming through the hairpin now. Drizzt's Revenge is on the back of Dennis VKK. Where did this come from?
No, it's not. It's windy.
Down the inside going
it's
into
not.
the hairpin.
Whoa, don't get excited. It's windy as bacon.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh my god, okay, Jesus.
It's windy as bacon.
He's on the inside of a Dutch driver, put it that way.
Yeah.
Okay, Jesus, right, okay.
What we'll say,
Oh
that
my
was
days, right.
unbelievable. That lap between Drizzt's Revenge and Dark Magic Gundam, where they went side by side for pretty much a whole lap, was unbelievable. That deserves a round of applause. Thank you.
Round of applause, lads.
What a lap
my
that
days.
was. That was breathtaking.
That was
for
a
both
hell
of
of
them.
a battle.
Whew. Sadly, John didn't get much airtime there, but what a dominant drive from the Greek driver.
There we go. I want to quickly mention that if you want to watch the replay for this race, it will be on YouTube. You're probably watching this on YouTube, but hello. Obviously, we've got our LCR YouTube channel, and John is now forever immortalized as winning the first part of the Legacy Classic on today's date, which is the 6th of May, 2018. China, wet, dry conditions in the Ferrari F2007. John is your race winner. Again, I'm not confident enough to say what his last name is. Charlie without the penalty. Shout out to Charlie, Drizzt's Revenge and Dark Magic Gundam for not even getting a penalty that race.
That's
That was
brilliant.
a cracking race.
Really good, really exciting. The wet to dry conditions really gave us exactly what we wanted, which was some entertaining driving when when the conditions were changing. So we've got John winning, AOR Charlie second, Exploding Emerald in third, Brock in fourth, Expert Armin in fifth, TOR Leopard in sixth, Dennis VKK in seventh, Drizzt's in eighth, Dark Magic ninth, and I think it was, I'm not sure who was 10th. I'm sorry. That was brilliant.
It's fine.